Hi there. I'm Dr. Suzanne Bechtel, a passionate legal educator dedicated to making legal studies clear, practical, and even a little inspiring. On this channel, you'll find a growing collection of videos designed to help you prepare for the Certified Paralegal exam. It covers key topics, breaking down complex concepts, and offering study tips that actually stick. If you're looking for a deeper dive, check out my Teachable School, where I offer structured courses, interactive tools, and exclusive resources to support your journey towards certification. Watch this video to the end and you'll find a coupon code for a discount. Don't forget to subscribe and explore the playlists. Your success on the NALA CP exam starts here. Now, before we move on to the lecture, there are two important disclaimers. First of all, this is not considered legal advice. Everything shared here is designed to support your learning journey. Also, I am not a lawyer. This course is designed to help you understand the concepts of the exam. Thank you.
Next, we're going to discuss and define and distinguish between covenants and conditions of contracts. And we'll look at the timing and enforceability of contractual promises and what the impact of conditions are on the duty to perform. So to look at the definition and distinction between covenants and conditions, a covenant is an unconditional, absolute promise to perform specific contractual duties. And as far as covenants, think of the covenants as the what. And understanding the conditions determine the timing or occurrence that triggers or ends the duty to perform. And this is the when. So realize that with conditions, it can actually end the duty, conclude the contract, or it can trigger performance. The difference between them is that covenants specify what must be done, so remember the what, and conditions specify when or if it must be done. So let's look at the individual types of conditions. All right, and as I point out, they can create or extinguish duties of the contract. A condition precedent requires an event to happen before contractual duty becomes enforceable. An example of this is when financing a house. A person fills out a contract to purchase land or a home, and they are needing, most likely, most people are going to need to get financing to purchase that home. So a condition precedent could include something like based upon the ability to obtain financing for the home. Condition subsequent will extinguish a duty after the contract formation, such as, and this was best example, alimony. So that's a form of spousal support and paid to a former spouse after a dissolution of marriage, otherwise known as a divorce. And the law provides that if a recipient of alimony, remarries, that alimony, the payer would not be paying alimony after that marriage takes place. In a marital settlement agreement, for example, which of course the marital settlement agreement fits the statute of frauds requirement to be in writing and be a formal contract, and so the condition subsequent would be, yes, I agree to pay spouse A or B alimony, monthly amount, on whatever the date is, and upon remarriage, if that occurs, this duty will extinguish. Simple as that. Conditions concurrent. Conditions concurrent involve simultaneous exchange of promises or performances. And so when I go to buy something at the store, I'm terrible about wanting to try clothes on in the dressing rooms. I just don't want to do it. I'll bring them home. Same is true of when I mail order. I don't want to go to the stores. Don't want to drive there, sit there, nothing. And living that, sheltered kind of life, sheltered from stores and dressing rooms, I can purchase something on my credit card, maybe at Macy's, and I go into Macy's, I buy it, don't try it on, or go to Macy's online and I buy it and it arrives at my door. I don't like it. It doesn't fit. My biggest problem is that I always buy clothing too big, so I have to take it back. So a return is an example of a condition concurrent. Is an example of a condition subsequent. A condition concurrent, I apologize, I've gotten mixed up. Conditions concurrent involve simultaneous exchange of promises or performances, and that's like it's a simultaneous transaction. So I go into the store and I buy my groceries and I take my groceries at the same time they take my money. So it's a condition concurrent. So simple, I don't need to go any further. And then there are express and implied conditions. And these express conditions, they're explicitly agreed in the contract. And implied in fact are assumed in good faith, and implied in law are imposed for fairness. So we'll look at that a little more closely on the next slide, I think. Yes. So as promised, express, implied in fact, and implied in law conditions. So express conditions, I've already noted, are specifically negotiated. And an example of that, the dealer will sell a car if the owner pays off the lien. So if I wanted to take my car to a dealer to trade it in or whatever, I would have, they would want me to pay off the lien. Implied conditions are assumed or imposed by law for fairness. So the two types of implied conditions are implied in fact and implied in law. Implied in fact conditions are assumed in good faith, and they ensure fairness, even if it's not expressly stated in the contract. And this would mean that there is implied in fact, there would be if the seller of a car or land, the purchaser makes the assumption that the seller has the car or land title. Implied in law, these conditions are imposed by law to ensure fairness, and even when it's not expressly stated in the contract. A constructive condition can be imposed by law in the interest of fairness and as to timing of performance. And we've already covered this, and we were talking about types of contracts, and we talked about those that are quasi-contracts in a previous lecture.
I hope you got some good information from this video lecture. Don't forget that I have a Teachable school account. Here is the address for that, mayananda-s-school.teachable.com. The name of my school is Mayananda. And also there's a coupon here for you to save some money. And finally, good luck on the exam. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.